Okay, as I just showed, I'm tapped into that ground lead. Now I'm gonna turn the bike back on, and as soon as the fan comes on, which may take a few minutes, the temperature light should start flashing again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this exposed ground wire, and I'm just going to attach it to this screw here. I could go here. I think I'm going to end the. I think I'm going to use this screw though when I do this permanently. So I'm just going to go ahead and test with that screw also. When I tested this all out a week or two ago, and I used the ground screw here, but I mean, I don't think it's going to matter. And I think doing it permanently, it would be better to use this screw, just so you don't. So this one continues to have a good connection. I'll explain that more later. But anyway, right now I'm just waiting for the. I've had the bike off for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, so I'm gonna have to warm up a little bit again and get that fan on again. But while it's waiting to do that, let me show you something else. A way you can test that your temperature sensor indicating unit, you know, that the whole temperature circuit is working, is get yourself a scrap of wire. Like I've got, here's another scrap of wire I've got. I just got these off of an old computer power supply that was blown. And I took this little cover off over here. So this here is your temperature sending unit, and the thermostat's in here. But anyway, the way this works is, you know, there's coolant right inside here, and as it heats up, the resistance between this lead and ground decreases. And I mean, this wire here runs back to that temperature indicator unit. This runs back to that chassis ground. So anyway, the temperature indicating unit is sending some voltage through here and measuring the voltage return. You know, and like I said, the hotter it gets, the more the resistance goes down, so the more voltage comes back. And anyway, the way you can kind of test your temperature gauge system is to take a piece of wire and make a short between here and ground, which, you know, just essentially just simulate what's going to happen when the sending unit gets real hot. Its resistance is going to go way down, and of course, you know, just a piece of wire has no resistance. So what I'm going to do is basically just simulate where the engine is just cooking, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this on camera. There, the fan just came on, so I imagine here if I hit my blinkers, yeah, the temperature light, it did flash there. So the problem's still there, which I would expect. I haven't done anything yet to really fix it, but I would need another person here to show it. But what? Okay, I'm just gonna. So if I take this wire here and short between here and here, the temperature light will come on, and I don't even see a kid around to hold the camera for me, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that though. I'm gonna run that test just to make sure my temperature indicator unit is all connected and working as it's supposed to be. Okay, so I shorted this out, and, you know, as I would expect, the temperature light came on and stayed on as long as I had that shorted. You know, when the fan comes on and the blinkers are on, the temperature light flashes. So now what I'm going to do is come back here, and this wire that I tapped into the ground with, I'm going to just attach that here and give this temperature sending unit a good ground connection by means of this wire. That's not very tight, but it's probably good enough to work. Okay, so the fan just shut off. I'm going to probably come back on here in another 20 seconds or so, and then since I've got this good ground connection now, my problem should be solved. That's the theory. As soon as that fan comes on, we'll test this out. Okay, the fan just came on. I'm going to hit the blinkers, and look at that. No temperature light flashing. See? No temp light. I can hit the high beam. No temp light. That fan's still going. I don't know, you probably can't hear it on this video, but I can hear it, and it's going. No temp light. See? Nice good ground connection, and that temp light doesn't flicker on anymore. So that's going to be the solution, is to give that indicator unit a good ground connection. And I'm going to turn this bike off and start working on that now. And so anyway, that's how you can test if you've got the same problem I do, and you know, if it's going to be solved the same way. It seems to solve for me. So I turn the bike off, and what I'm going to do next, I really could use an assistant to hold this camera, but I don't have one. Okay, so there. What I'm going to do next is kind of pull back this insulation as much as I can and get as much of this dark green ground wire exposed as I can, and then I'm going to clip it off. So let me go ahead and shut this camera off and get that done. Be back. Okay, I haven't done much yet, except I unplugged that other plug just so I could get a good grip on these wires. What I'm doing is I was planning on attaching another wire here and running it up, but I think there's enough length here to where I can just use the existing green wire. What I'm doing, so there's this black tubing, you know, that the harness wires run through. I'm pushing that back as far as I possibly can, so I can get some length on that green wire. I want enough length to just run over to the screw. And you know, I've got a wire cutter here, and I'm gonna pull that back as far as I possibly can and get in there and clip off that green wire. As soon as I turn the camera back on, it will. Okay, I'm back. I just clipped the green ground wire, so now I can pull this back down. And what I'm going to do is I went to my local Harbor Freight store, just a little hardware store in town. Actually, I think it's a big national chain, but anyway, I'm going to attach a terminal onto the end of this wire, so I can. So anyway, just see the point. See how that almost look? Yeah. So I've got plenty of length there to attach that, assuming I don't have to make a few attempts and make the wire shorter each time. I think I'll be fine. So what I did, like I said, I went to the hardware store today, and I found these. I've never used these before, but I was doing the test with one of them in the house. These are pretty awesome. This was like, I don't know, like $1, $1.50, something like that, and all you need is one. So really this whole problem, for all you guys out there who might run into it, you know, I've spent, I don't know, probably close to $100 anyway on replacing perfectly good parts. When all I really needed to do was, you could actually fix this for free if you wanted to. You could just strip this wire down and screw it on here. I'm just going to go for a little more professional method, and I got these spade terminals. I was going to get a ring terminal, but they didn't, all the ones they had looked like they were, the hole was too small for the screw to fit through them, so I went ahead and I got these spade terminals. I wasn't sure if they'd fit without bending them or anything, but I got home and tested it, and I mean it fits on there just absolutely perfectly. So what I'm going to do, strip a little bit of wire, strip a little bit of insulation off of the end of that green ground wire, and then attach that on there. So let me pause the camera and